Hello YouTube, welcome to RVDaydream. As the box may indicate, we got something for a car. Looks like a pod. And it's going to go.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
So CarpodGo reached out to me and asked if I was looking for an Android device, because I have Android phones, for my truck or for my vehicle. And I have a 2018 truck that has a sync system in it, but it's an older one. And we had a 2019 F250 and a 2020 F350. Both of those had the newer, bigger sync systems on it, and boy, did I get used to it. So currently now, it just sync system in the Ford just kind of does some of the stuff that I want, but I want maps. I want maps on there. So here's all the stuff that it comes with. That's what I'm opening up. Here's a camera. Here's a mount. It talks about the mount. I'm going to tell you about the mount a little bit. Here's an audio cable to go from USB-C. And then we have another device here. This has something to do with the backup camera and if there's any flickering, because again, there's a camera here. My truck has a backup camera, so I don't really need that function. However, I do need this function. And what this is a 60 frames per second, which is a big deal whenever you're trying to get good quality and show a screen that makes a difference. That's why all my videos I shoot in pretty much 60 frames per second, almost exclusively. As far as the mount, let's talk about that real quick. There's different ways of mounting this. They have different mounts available. There'll be a couple different ones in there. But it's basically saying that, and you'll see why. This screen is heavy enough that it's got to be supported. So wherever you mount it, the screen needs to kind of rest on a dash or whatever. Let's take a look at the screen, and you'll kind of get an idea why, because this is heavy. This thing's heavy. I know there's other stuff in here that goes along with this, but the screen itself, man, this thing's pretty healthy. Let me see if I can get this out of here. You can see the other mounts in that, but still, this is one of the heaviest parts. It's a nice, heavy feeling thing. It feels, I'll tell you what this feels like, a big Android phone. I mean, that's kind of what it is. This feels like a big, giant Android phone. The other thing is, that adds a little bit of weight, is it's got this magnetic, right? Oh, I love that. That's what my GPS has. I have a Garmin GPS with a built-in camera. It's an RV GPS for when we were RVing. And it has a built-in dash cam. So every time I run that GPS, I have a dash cam always going. So you get a normal power port connection, cigarette lighter, whatever you want to call it. And you do gain a USB port, 2.4 amps. Of course, you turn it on and off. You can see here, this just goes up to the device. I've already downloaded the latest firmware for this, just so I don't have to worry about that after the fact. You have different mountings. You know, here's, you can see 3M. Of course, 3M. You can put a suction cup on there and use that big, you know, like that. I don't know how I'm going to do it on mine. Here's a small one with a little, you know, there's different ways to mount it. Little booklet in here. I'm sure this is going to tell me how to do all this stuff. And these here, I think what this is for, even though I don't think they necessarily say it, is these are like little sticky edges. So if you have this resting on your dash, I think you're to put these on the edge so that it holds against the dash. I mean, that's just a guess on my part, but I think that's a pretty safe guess. So there's a lot of different videos, and these people are talking about, you know, how to install it and all that. It doesn't make a difference. You're going to do it your own way. I mean, you could have 3 or 4 different ways of mounting it in the exact same truck that I have. I'm going to find out what's best for me. I'll tell you why I did it that way. And the main thing is I want to try this out and tell you if it works or not. That's the main reason for this video. I don't see why it wouldn't, but there's usually some sort of a flaw of some kind or downfall. Let's see if we can find it on this one. One of the things it says to do is an update, and they include the OTG cable, which is nothing more than a USB drive to a USB-C. And it's very simple. All you do is follow the instructions and the online manual. It could be in the booklet also, but I just wanted to show you this is what it looks like. I have the unit powered, and I have the files that I downloaded off my computer on this USB drive, which is an old USB drive, and it's only 4 gigabytes. And those 3 files, once they were in their root accessory, whatever it is, it's pretty simple. You go to settings on here, and you go to about, and you'll see, we'll go to settings, and then you can see down here it says about. We'll go click on that. And then you see system update. Well, that's what I clicked. I clicked system update, and I've got the latest update. I think that's very cool. All right, I had to switch phones because obviously I can't use my phone that I was filming with to connect and film any better than I could with this camera. So hopefully my moving around isn't causing too much of a problem. So this is going to be a lot of personal preference. As you can see already, I got a bunch of junk in my windshield, and I wasn't planning on leaving the GPS up there. And to give you an idea how nice those magnetic mounts are, this GPS, I've had it now for 4 years, and it's, you just throw it up there and that's it. And when you take it down, there's no buttons to push. And I did have on our old truck, I had it mounted down low, and I don't think I can get away with that in the truck here with our new Android Auto piece, because I don't think that little elbow that they offer is got enough angle to it. What I mean is it would work if I was putting it on the dash, but I'm not. I need to actually put it, or at least mount it down in that well a little bit. And if you don't know, a lot of these Fords that started back in, I don't know, 2017 or earlier, they have these, yeah, see, that's obviously too low. So my choice would be moving it to one side. I guess I could do that. So basically the first step you're going to come up with when you're doing this is finding a position that this works for you. I can't tell you that. It all depends on how you're going to mount it in your vehicle. I guess I could do something like this. And again, it has a magnetic mount. I'm not sure. So instead of me keeping you on camera here and trying to figure out, how are we going to do this? How it's going to mount? There's going to be challenges. Let's just say that for any vehicle, and they're all going to be unique. Now, some of the videos that I've seen online, they show that the cars are pretty straightforward, and it's real easy. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case here, because if I had my choice, it'd be here. But even that, there's some, you can see it's rocking. This isn't flat across here. So I'll have to see how I want to do this. Now, I could always, of course, mount it up with that long suction arm to the windshield. But again, let's come back and see what that looks like once I'm finished with finding out where I want to put it. Okay, a new day, and a lot has happened, and there's no excuse other than what I said before, and that is all vehicles are going to be unique to the way that you're going to mount this, unless you have specifically, in my case, a 2018 F-150, which is very similar to the Super Duties. And it covers quite a few years. I think probably starting in maybe 2016, 2017, all the way up to at least 2021, maybe. I had to buy a mount that went down into this factory tray area. But talking about the device, again, I have a lot of real estate that gets taken up whenever I start adding devices to the truck. And this is no exception, as this does take away from some real estate on the dash. However, it doesn't hardly take any block. There's no view lost here. Unless I scrunch down a little bit, I guess I could lose some vision on my right front fender. And I'm talking my far right front fender, but I lose more from my GPS than anything else. Now, if I got a dash cam, which I do, I have, believe it or not, I actually have a dash cam that is put away in a box. If I had that dash cam mounted, I probably would lose the GPS at this point. The GPS is very handy, though. it works out really well. But I wanted to use this exclusively. Now, when we were full-time RVing, of course, you know, we had a transponder for turnpike cost. We had the dash cam, which mounted up on the windshield. We had the GPS, which was mounted on the dash. And the truck had a better sync system than this one, so I didn't have to have an Android Auto. The GPS, the tire pressure monitoring system, the rear view camera, all that was up in the dash or on the windshield of the truck. So there was a lot of stuff up there. So getting back to this device, one of the things that you need to utilize is something that people seem to skim over on a lot of these reviews. You know, they want to make the review seem all fluffy. And, ooh, look at my device and it's awesome. Yeah, this thing is great. It has a good screen to it. It's got a good refresh rate. Everything about it, the tactile feel, we'll show that here. We'll go through some functions and you'll see me scrolling through. But one of the things that you can't have the best of both worlds. I wanted this to be very stable. Now I'm using that little elbow mount in addition to the mount that I just installed. So it had something to secure to. And I'm glad that I did get something to secure it to, because it still wanted to move around a little bit with that little elbow mount. And the way that you get around that is included with the device, which I'm glad that CarpodGo included these things, are these little tiny adhesive strips that are cut just to the thickness of the GPS, or I'm sorry, the monitor here, the Android Auto. And you put those on the bottom and they adhere to the dash. So now I've got this thing mounted in the back on that magnetic mount, but I have it secured with 3M tape basically to the dash. And I put, they give you 5 pieces. So I put 1 piece in the middle and 2 stacked on the sides to give me, to fill a gap that was greater on the sides. And it's firm. This is very firm. The bad news about that is I can't take this out of the windshield. I mean, I can't pull this off without pulling that tape off. So that magnetic mount, that quick release, that's kind of, to the wayside. Not a big deal. The other thing that I did, which you're going to see here, is I did not utilize their power. You know why I didn't utilize their power? Because I have a phone charger that's here, that's mounted, that's plugged in to the power port. I only have one power port that is close, basically. I have another one that's heading over here that I could have utilized, but my phone, again, is over top of that. And I have my GPS and my radar detector also plugged in down below. So what I did was, for the power for the Android Auto, the CarpodGo, I used the factory USB-C port, and it's a data and power port. Now, of course, I'm not using any data out of there. I'm using just the power. On this system in particular, it does not connect to the Android Auto using that cord. Let's go ahead and open this thing up, or turn the vehicle on, and let you see what you're missing. Because I'll tell you, this is nice to have. I really miss having Android Auto. After, I had that 2019 F250 and a 2020 F350, and we opted for the big screen Sync 3 system that was touchscreen. And once I got used to that, I really missed it. Now, I do not have the backup camera installed on this. Again, it's because I already have a backup camera installed on the truck, from the factory. If I wanted a little bit better of a look, I could do that. Potentially, I would think that you might be able to do some sort of a wireless aftermarket through another company camera that mounts on the back of your RV that would display on this. But again, I like using this for my Waze and my music through my phone, and I like to use my GPS as a backup for specific routes for an RV, and that's basically how tall the trailer is and how heavy the trailer is going through some of these roads, whereas Waze will not even prompt you to something like that. Again, be diligent about it. So let's go ahead and turn the vehicle on. I did change the logo to say Ford, so everything matches. I had Ford show up on my dash. Here's the home screen. That's what it looks like from home. Android Auto connecting. Please hold. You can see how fast all this happens. This is real time. And I can already tell I'm starting to get to where there's music potentially here. My phone lights up. It's basically saying, okay, somebody's connecting to you, and there you go. Now, if you want to know, a lot of people don't know this. It's Android Auto. This is the way they are. You're going to see a music. I hate that. I just want to see the map. So you just click the icon. That'll get rid of it. A lot of people don't know that's how you get rid of that little thing going on there. But you can see I've got my calls. I've got everything set up here to where I can use it. My contacts, my most recent. And I can add apps to this if I'd like. There are, just a limited shown here. I don't really like to use Google Maps, but I do leave Google Maps on here just in case. It's nothing more than clicking on that if you want to change it over to Google Maps. I prefer Waze because we've just been with Waze for so long. And then, of course, your settings, you can customize all this stuff. I like the way that this is laid out. And again, this is pretty responsive. I don't really have, oh, that was the bottom. I really don't have any issue with what's going on here as to how slow it is. Now, this launched something on my phone. You can see all the stuff here that I can do through my launch. And this is all just basic Android Auto stuff. So the idea that I now have basically an Android Auto screen, I like that. If you click this little icon up here, it'll say notifications. I don't have any notifications. Again, my music, I can see it on my dash here, or I could see it up there if I choose. So that's pretty much it. I like the idea that the Android Auto can be added relatively easy and inexpensive going this route. Your other choice, my other choice is there's a gentleman locally that advertises on Facebook Marketplace and is pretty highly rated, that he will remove my dash. He will put in a big Android tablet. He will change all of this in the way that it works. And ultimately what he does is put this, a bigger version of this, in the dash. But it's like $1,100 for that service. And he doesn't always have all the components. And you do lose some of your factory functions. Not a lot, but a couple of the factory functions that you normally could do through your screen. I don't really care for that part. So again, looking back at what this offers and what you can do, I think that this is a good add-on that keeps things relatively cheap. And again, I now have Android Auto. I'm just going to leave it up in the dash full time, and hopefully everything will work out good as far as longevity. There'll be a lot of sun, a lot of heat that this thing sees. Again, hopefully I don't have to deal with that moving forward, that this thing would fail on any level. But the links are going to be down below for this. If you like this product, click the link in the description. It'll take you right to it. That way you can make sure you get the same one. And again, everybody's installation is going to be a little different. Just follow the instructions. They're very complete. Again, I just printed them out, and they were very easy to read, very easy to follow. CarpodGo, that's the company. And this has been RV Daydream, telling you all about it. I appreciate it, guys. And as always, we hope to see you out there. Bye.